graduate student. Marty Dobro is a professor of communications whose main interests are sports, social justice, and the civil rights movement. Dobro was just 7 when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee, a day after he spoke these prophetic words.
And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
My mom's response was so haunting, hand to her heart, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I had never seen her like that, and it really imprinted on me that Martin Luther King was a monumentally important person, and I just always had a fascination.
While researching the college's commencements, Dobro was shocked to find that in 1964, the speaker was Martin Luther King Jr.
To me, that was just astonishing, that right at the height of the civil rights movement, just a few months out from the March on Washington, a few months before he wins the Nobel Peace Prize, just a couple weeks before the signing of the Civil Rights Act, that at that seismic moment in history that he was on this campus.
Delving into the school archives, Dobro discovered that hardly anything had been written on King's visit.
I became convinced that this was a huge moment, not just of local history or campus history, but really of American history.
At UMass, Dobro came across 6 pages of FBI file documents that had become unredacted.
What became clear is that there was a concerted effort to get Dr. King disinvited from this gig. There was pressure that was brought to bear on the Springfield College president, Glenn Olds.
Olds was a minister, pacifist, and conscientious objector during World War II.
He was a visionary leader in a lot of ways, brilliant man, great speaker, and I think that he was really drawn to Dr. King because of the pacifism.
Olds reached out to King in February of '64. The commencement was in June.
Certainly some people were overjoyed about it, recognized him as an eloquent spokesperson, as a national hero, a big moment for the college. But equally, there were people who were opposed to this.
The FBI attempted to block King from speaking at Springfield and discredit him through secretive FBI wiretaps, which uncovered some salacious information on King's private life.
The relationship that the director of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, had with Martin Luther King was a toxic one.
The FBI recruited Massachusetts Senator Leverett Saltonstall to lean on Olds to get him to turn his back on King and save the college from, quote, a great embarrassment. In April, Hoover's deputy played the scratchy audio recordings for Olds. His response was, "In my America, the accused gets to meet the accuser." Despite significant pressure from prominent shareholders and benefactors of the college as well, in his moment of truth, Olds refused to cave in.
Dr. Olds, in some ways, is a hero of this story because he did stand tall, but he also wavered. This was not something that he immediately said, we need to do the right thing. He ultimately came to that.
3 days before the commencement, King traveled to St. Augustine, Florida, to draw attention to the city's segregation policies.
I found it to be quite a violent and frightening place. Said at one point that it was the most lawless city that he had ever visited.
At the Munson Motor Lodge, King was arrested for violating the state's unwanted guest law. On June 12th, King was thrown into the St. Johns County Jail with Reverend Ralph Abernathy. Olds told authorities he would record King's commencement speech in jail if King wasn't released, and then they would have to deal with the publicity. On June 13th, King posted a $900 bail and was freed. King flew into Bradley Field on Sunday, June 14th, with his wife, Coretta Scott King, and his personal assistant, Bernard Lee. Arriving to bomb-sniffing dogs, King was given a brief tour of the campus, held a press conference, and had lunch with the administration. The commencement was held in the afternoon at Memorial Fieldhouse, a converted Quonset hut. President Olds introduced King to a packed house of over 3,200, praising King for giving voice to the sad silence of the deserving but dispossessed.
It is a pleasure to present a man as our speaker who has given a new face to freedom and a new form to the ancient promise that all men created in God's image shall be truly free.
During his 30-minute speech, King referenced Jesus, St. Thomas Aquinas, and Gandhi, spoke about segregation, calling it the Negro's burden and America's shame, pacifism, saying the time is always right to do right, and proclaiming We must all learn to live together as brothers, or we will all perish together as fools.
I believe by standing up with determination against an unjust system, resisting it with all of one's might, all the soul force that one can muster, yet not stooping to hatred and violence in the process, the individual has the strongest force alive in the world.
After the speech, King received an honorary Doctorate of Divinity degree with other distinguished guests. Dobrow said many of the students he spoke to were inspired and transformed by King and his eloquent words. Students passing through the campus union are reminded of King's speech by this banner, which depicts some of the events surrounding that visit. According to Dobrow, the speech remains one of the pivotal and defining moments in the college's history.
This event is certainly celebrated down in the Springfield College Museum, but I would really advocate for shouting this from the hills, for making this an iconic moment at Springfield College. It is a powerful, powerful story. It's a great lesson to our current student. To me, it's the greatest day in the college's history.
Dobrow's mission is to have the college commemorate a statue on campus, recognizing the commencement. In 2006, Dobrow spoke to Olds when the former president was in his early 80s.
I think that this was a real high point in his life, one that he was very proud of.
Dobrow hopes that we learn from the forces of history, which brought Glenn Olds and Martin Luther King together for one brief, shining moment in 1964.
It's just so important that we really hold fast to our past and grow from it.